Hello, and thank you for joining us for our first episode of Community Matters here at Breadfruit News. Today we have with us Miss Iesha Richardson, a recent graduate at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, with a very powerful and inspiring story to share with us today. Iesha, I know that you're a very busy mom, very busy person, and you've taken time out of your schedule to share your story with us today. So please, thank you very much for doing that. Um, Viewers would have seen your story on Facebook, compliments Breadfruit News, and everybody wants to know, who is Iesha? You know, you've done such an amazing job. Congratulations, by the way. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone. My name is Iesha Richardson. I grew up in the vibrant village of Biabou, located on the windward side of the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I am a mom.
Yes.
Well,
How many
a
kids do you
full-time
have?
one. I have 4 kids, 2 girls and 2 boys.
Oh,
2
lovely.
are in
Nice pair
secondary
of each.
school and 2 are in primary school.
Wonderful. Okay. So you would have shared your story. I think you posted on Facebook as well about, you know, how emotional this whole journey has been for you. Can you sort of take us back from the beginning and bring us forward to where you are now, just so we can hear?
Yes, I can. Initially, when I posted that caption beside that photo on my Facebook page,
What was the
honestly, it was,
captions for those who may not have seen it? What did it say?
and yes, I did it. Basically that was it. Yes, I did it.
Right.
Share, share the good news because when I posted it, I didn't know it would have taken off like that.
Yeah.
That was my motive. Although it took off in a positive way, in inspiring other people.
Yeah.
But going back, um, I met some difficult times. I had some difficult times during
Yeah.
my tenure at the SVGCC, and before I even started, there were naysayers. During my course, there were naysayers, negative things, criticisms, and people always tend to share the bad news
Of
because growing
course.
up, I always hear that um, propaganda spreads like wildfire.
Yes.
So why not share the good news now?
That's
Because
right.
people sometimes all they want to see you do is just fail,
Yeah.
and I know I have got to prove them wrong, and most of all, my kids
That's
are
right.
absolutely proud of me.
Oh, I could imagine.
Yeah.
So what drove you to decide to go to college at this stage in your life? What was your why factor? What motivated you? Sorry, just for our viewers, do you mind if we asked how old you are?
Now, or when I started,
Well, when you started,
I was 30.
isn't that amazing? That is unheard of, isn't it? This
Yes.
is why it's taken off like this, because we don't normally see this. Like you would have said in your statement as well, persons go to college right after school, not after having 4 kids, but you did it.
Yes, I did it.
Right. So your
Yes,
motivation, you were saying about your motivation.
right. Going back, to be honest, I never had any, I never thought about going back to college. You understand? All I
Right.
wanted to do was to get a job to provide adequately for my kids, for
Your
my
kids.
family. You
Right.
understand? Because being a mom, all you ever want to do is get that finance to
Yes.
provide the
Make your
basic
kids
necessities,
happy. Yeah.
make your kids happy. Because sometimes you might be getting the help, but you want to do more. And there are barriers in life that can prevent you.
Yeah.
So I was on the job hunt. I have 60 subjects, and I sent in numerous applications. I was on the years program where I did 2 years, and
Where were
then I
you
was
placed?
was
On the
working at the SVG St. Vincent and the Grenadines Coast Guard Service.
Okay.
Yes, and I did other temporary jobs. I needed something permanent where I have a steady flow of income.
Right.
And that was happening. So I said, man, I need a job. I know there was a hardship in the economy. So I heard the Prime Minister on radio one time saying that his office is open and you can come and visit him. But what really drove me to the Prime Minister was that same year I went to college. My sister was gruesomely murdered.
Oh my goodness, I'm
Yes,
so sorry to hear that.
yes. Gasoline was poured on her by her alleged lover. That case is still ongoing. So I know that the Prime Minister had reached out to me after she passed away, offering condolences, because that news also took the airwaves.
Okay.
And I went to his office and I spoke to him, but my motive going there was to ask him, if he can help assist me with a job.
Right.
And then I said, I've been submitting applications and stuff, and he asked me how many sexes I have, and I relayed that information to him. And he said, Miss Richardson, you are pretty young. Have you ever thought about going back to college?
Yes.
I said, me? I said, college, not in this day and age. And then he asked me how many kids do I have, and I said 4 kids. And he looked at me like, you don't even look like you have 2 kids. They came, not to say that I have any regrets.
Right.
I didn't make them in school. I made my first daughter at age 19.
Okay.
Yes, and he said, that is not an excuse not to go back to college, not to go to college, because there are a lot of programs out there now.
Yes.
That you can choose from. And we had a good talk, and he was quite impressed with our conversation, because
Wonderful.
I read a lot and I try to follow up on economic issues around the world.
Excellent.
I told him, he said, why don't you go to the college to get some information on the associate degrees out there, the associate degree programs out there, and you can go to Mr. Scott and talk to him and show him that you have the qualifications to enter college and something like that. And he was like, I will assist you along the way. That is my word. And wrapping up, I left his office, to be honest, not even thinking about going out college to see what programs they offer there.
You had made up your mind already that was not for you.
College. I was like, I said, me and college, I have a daughter in secondary school.
Yes.
Yeah, I am
conflicting.
And I know that I had other responsibilities with my sister death and her kids, and I'm saying, does he even understand me? Does he even understand my need?
Yes, and your situation you're in.
Yes.
But in the end, you decided to pursue his advice.
Well, yes. In the end, I came home. The first person I spoke to the evening was I think my daughter was 12 at the time, because she had just entered Thomas Under Secondary School.
Okay.
And yes, that's my oldest child. And I said, I told her, I'm thinking about going back to college and I'm not too happy about it. And so I asked her, how will you feel you going to school and seeing your mommy going back to college? That was my first question, I think. And she was like, I'm not going to feel anyhow, mommy. I said, well, I think I'm going to feel a little bit embarrassed because people might talk, because it's a society that we're living in. Yes. And it's not the norm in this society.
That's right.
So I said, and I remember she saying that her name is Iesha Richardson. She was like, it's up to you if you want to study people. You don't study what people have to say.
Wisdom.
Yes, she's very intelligent, and we have a good relationship.
That's
And I
really
know,
good.
so like if I call like 10 persons to, I actually call the people before I actually went to college, persons who were close to me, and I would say 8 out of 10 didn't
What did
support
they
me.
say? They did not.
They
Because
not.
it's
I
not
remember,
it's
yeah,
outside of what is normal, but you know what? We are changing things and it's about changing what's normal. Because if you are in, let's say, the US going to college, anybody can go to college. And that's what's now changed in St. Vincent, where it doesn't matter your age. The usual transition would be from secondary school to college, but that's not always the case, as you've clearly proven.
yes.
Excellent.
And yes, I remember the two persons. I really don't want to point them out, but I know my daughter godmother. She was one of the person who really supported me over the phone. She said, "Go for it once you have people to assist you with the kids." But we're a very small family. Most of our family members have migrated and not really. Because I'm close to my sisters, some of
Okay.
them are away. So, and
Any
I'm
of the
so
kids' dads in the picture?
um well, yes, three of them belong to one father.
Okay.
So, but he also have a very demanding child,
Right.
and
Okay.
the way how I want him to be there for the kids, sometimes he disappoint me. Not
Okay.
he disappoint me in terms of the assistance, to take some load off my shoulder. Well, they are no longer a load to me. The
Right.
Lord has given they are indeed a blessing.
That's right.
And I went to college probably the week after the Prime Minister and I have spoken. And I know I went and I spoke to Mr. Scott and Miss Jamisha Roberts.
So
And
they are the ones who got you sort of who gave you
yes, I
advice on
went
how to go about starting.
on how to go about, I was asked what I was interested in. I know I was interested in law
Right.
all along. And then they told me the programs, they look at my subjects, the
Your CXC
prerequisites
subjects.
to
Right.
to do the programs. And I think that they saw that I was best fitted for the associate degree in business studies.
Okay.
Yes, so and even sitting there in the office out at the college on that day, there were still doubts in my mind of attending, because when I went to college had already started like a month and some ago. So
Right.
I was there and I was looking around at people who I saw just leave secondary school
Secondary
at,
school, yes.
at that day. And
Yes.
I was
A bit
thinking of,
discouraging.
yes, I was always, yes. And then I even told the lady, Miss Roberts, I said, I don't think I'm interested, because I told her my fears also. And then she was like, I remember one thing she said to me, she said, last year we had a student and her mother in the same class. And I
Oh,
think that was
wow.
really also part of the motivation aspect
Excellent.
to it. And
Okay.
I said, okay. And then she gave me the stuff and I signed up. I got the email, and man, I just couldn't digest that I'm going back to college. I'm still asking myself, is this really happening? Who is gonna be there to pick up my kids on evenings if I have late class?
Right.
The financial part of it. And I know I walked out, although I got the acceptance letter the next day and went to college to submit the other stuff. I went back to the Prime Minister office and he said, go for it. And also his secretary, Miss Angie Williams,
Yes.
said, go for it. And yeah, they assisted me in going through the application process.